Hello, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another episode of 30 Albums for 30 Years, 1964 through 1994. I am your host, Jay Sweet. Very excited about this one, Wayne Shorter's JuJu, released on Blue Note Records in July of 1965, recorded August 3rd of 1964. Let's check it out. Wayne Shorter's JuJu. So as you may be aware, I've discussed Wayne Shorter quite a bit on this program already. Check out season number 1, episode 29, and the album Night Dreamer. I discussed that record along with Bruce Williams, the great jazz saxophonist, and Art Blakey's Free For All, which I recently discussed in season 2, episode 13. So for today's episode, I want to focus specifically on Wayne Shorter's career around the time of the release of JuJu. Wayne Shorter was indeed a dominant force in the mid-1960s as a jazz saxophonist, tenor sax, and as a small group composer. For some time, he occupied that space with the great John Coltrane, a man he loved and respected deeply. By 1965, Coltrane was entirely moving into a more avant-garde, free jazz style of playing, which alienated some of his audience. Now, Shorter continued to explore and expand upon more conventional forms. From 1959 to 1964, Shorter was a member of Art Blakey's Jazz Messengers and became the principal composer for that group. And even after leaving the Messengers, there was recordings of Wayne Shorter with that group, Free For All, which we've discussed, 1965, Kyoto, 1966, and Indestructible, 1966, all albums featuring Wayne Shorter with the Jazz Messengers. After leaving Art Blakey, Shorter became the final member to join what would become known as Miles Davis's second great quintet, showcasing a new youth movement for Miles Davis. The group was Herbie Hancock on piano, Tony Williams on drums, and Ron Carter on bass. Instantly, Shorter became a principal composer for that band, and his presence and the group's exploration of composition, form, rhythm, and melody created a new sound for acoustic jazz. Now, Shorter's earliest releases with that group include Miles Davis's ESP, which was released in 1965. We will discuss that record. Miles in Berlin, also released in 1965. And The Complete Plug Nickel, recorded in 1965, but not released until 1995. With Shorter in his group, Miles would eventually journey into the jazz rock idiom in the late 1960s. Shorter would do the same with his group Weather Report, the most popular jazz rock unit possibly ever. Between the years of 1964 and 1965, Shorter was also recording frequently as a leader and recorded masterpieces for Blue Note Records. And these were being stockpiled and released throughout the 1960s and even beyond. This includes, of course, Night Dreamer, 1964, JuJu, 1965, today's album, Speak No Evil, 1966, The All-Seeing, released in 1966, Adam's Apple, released in 1967, and Etc., which was held from release until 1980.